I went to the 2012 Olympics to work and found myself at a cycling event where I met one of the USA cyclists. His name is Guy East. We were talking. He was explaining the event. He was explaining how it worked. And at the end of it, he was like, if you take anything away from our conversation, it's that I want you to meet my younger brother. And I was like, okay, this is never going to happen. We flew back to the U.S. and he had like connected us. And randomly, we went on a blind date and kind of the rest is history.
Wait, what?
So I was like anti-social media at this point.
Which is comical.
I formed a Twitter account to slide in her DMs, and then I got her number, and then we arranged this blind date.
Yep.
It wasn't really blind date, but it was like you had no idea.
It was a blind date in the sense of like I had never seen you.
Yeah.
We'd never FaceTimed or anything. It was just like
Was it a little awkward?
Very.
I was having the best night of my life. Dude, we went out to LA and we ate at like 7 different restaurants, and I had like an entree meal at every single place. I was crushing food because I was like in the middle of football season.
Yeah.
And I was like cracking jokes left and right. I thought I was hilarious. And Shawn she was just stonewalling me, like didn't get a smile until the very end of the night.
I lived by myself in Los Angeles. I didn't trust anybody. I felt like everybody had a motive or an intention. And I just kept trying to figure out what his game was because he was so nerdy and quirky and weird.
Babe. Thank you.
And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the very end of the night you did something, and I literally had this glimpse of like, I think this is actually just him.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. And I was like, it's
not
cute.
a facade.
So you almost had this wall up because I'm assuming like being an accomplished gymnast, having all the success at a young age, there are probably people that just wanted to take advantage of you or just wanted to be your friend because you had won gold medals. Like what was that like living in LA? Like you're not from LA?
Not from LA. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, cool.
And after the Olympics in 2008, I had then gone on Dancing with the Stars twice. I was back on Dancing with the Stars while I was in LA. And going on like dates was not something I really did. And if I did go on a date, it was because someone knew someone and could vouch for them.
Yeah.
And
How old were you at this point?
20.
Okay.
And I didn't really have that with Andrew. I had met his brother, but I had just met him at the Olympics. So I didn't know who this guy was, and I didn't have like a team to vouch for him. So I was like, I just don't know what you're about. But
Shawn's been through a lot. Shawn's been in the limelight for a long time. She's had like the stalker issues. She's been in the game like since she was 12.
Yeah. Well,
that's a long time.
And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but you have to think, the more you get to know Andrew, he's just quirky and unapologetically himself. And
don't
like,
say yeah to that.
He doesn't
Sorry.
Every once in a while, he'll do something that's like socially not acceptable, but it's just him.